Welcome to Jack and Talk Overtime on LEB TV. We're at Buzzcuts in downtown Lebanon. Lunch provided by Mel's on Madison. I'm Kevin Stubblefield. Today's show brought to you by Mid-Missouri Bank, also by Mercy, and by Ginger's Wellness. Lebanon football at Jefferson City Helias in the Class 5 District 5 championship game on Friday night. We'll talk Jack and football coming up next on Jack and Talk Overtime here on LEB TV. Welcome to Jack and Talk on LEB TV. We are back on Jack and Talk Overtime from Buzzcuts in downtown Lebanon, and offensive coordinator Brian Sommerer is our guest for today's show after Lebanon's big win at Capital City on Friday night by a score of 44-24. Get 44 points in a playoff-type game. That's pretty good, isn't it?
Yeah. Defense getting the ball back quick and doing a good job executing on offense right now, so hopefully we can keep that going.
Well, Flexbone, what was the offensive game plan on Friday night, and how do you feel the offense executed as a whole?
Well, we didn't really know what to expect. I mean, we don't know much about them as far as common opponents, and so you go in there not knowing if you can move the ball in the middle of the line of scrimmage, and so it's a feel it out kind of thing. So we just kind of go and do what we do, and then adjust from there. And we made a couple of little adjustments, but overall we took care of business, and up front we really dominated up front. I was really proud of those guys.
Any particular keys on the Capital City defense that you thought the offense had a chance to exploit, perhaps?
Well, one guy that I thought that was key for them was 73, and he didn't end up playing. I'm not sure what happened. Doesn't matter, but they played man on us, so we thought if we could get a shot in there early on them that we could really take advantage of it, and we did that. Maybe not as much as we usually do, but we got that screen going, and that really hurts man teams. So right there before half, that really pushed us over a little bit.
What has the passing game's evolution meant to the offense as the season's gone along, especially here in the last 4 to 5 weeks?
Yeah, it's been really good for us, and what makes it good, I think, is us being able to run the ball effectively. We're doing a really good job up front of running the ball, but people have played us a little bit different than they have in the past too. They've played man on us and given the middle of the field up a little bit, so we've been taking advantage of that. And those receivers, both of them, give a shout-out to Evan Ogle, who doesn't get a lot of love, but he does catch the ball on some big plays. He's been our big play guy, just hasn't gotten the end zone yet. Hopefully we can get that taken care of this Friday. And then Shoemaker. And then our slots, they made some catches too. So can't forget about those guys either.
Okay, Brian, the biggest play on Friday night, the fake field goal. Where did that come from?
I honestly did not even have a clue it was going on. I was like, we're going to kick a field goal. We'll get some points here. And when it went off, I was like, all right. I had no idea. So that's a Coach Christian question. He made a gutsy call right there, and it worked out. So that's credit to him.
I was trying to go back into my thought processes the last time Lebanon had a fake field goal. I couldn't recall one.
I'm not sure either. I've been here since 2008, and I'm not sure I've ever, maybe one other time. But that's a great call and a great momentum swing right there to get us ball down there by the goal line and put some points on the board when we were down. I think it was still 7-6 then. So it was a big drive.
It was. LaMontagne with the catch. What's he meant to the offense as he's come back to the program, and he has moved his game up several notches as the season has moved along.
He's been our Swiss Army knife, I think, on both sides of the ball. I can't speak for defense all the time, but I know they use him in a lot of different roles. Offensively, he's played slot and receiver. We had him at slot yesterday. Man, he's been huge for us. And then that actually route was not even meant to be thrown there in the middle of the field. It's actually, he just read it and kind of made a backyard football play on that. And he can do that. So he's a good athlete.
The requirements of the perimeter people to block on the outside to spring the flex bone, that's also been coming on, hasn't it?
Yes, it has, and we're going to need that this week. They're going to pile it in there on us, I think, and we're going to need those guys to step up and be able to run the ball on the edge and also block on the edge too. So that's huge.
Those guys up front, wow, they have really they've stayed healthy this season. That's one big key. But you always talk about chemistry within the offensive line. We've seen that week in and week out.
Oh boy, have we grown since week 1, 2, 3, or 4. Those guys up front have put in the sweat equity of just getting it done every day in practice and going through the process of being really honestly young up front to start the year. So, having those guys really come along as the year has gone on has been huge for us. And Jax, have credit them and a credit to all those guys up front and our tight ends that have really, really done a good job this year.
Well, I asked you about 2 hours before game time on Friday night, what's first play going to be? And you said dive play to Jax. Well, that's no surprise there. That's worked consistently during his 4 years here.
Yes, definitely. And he's toted the rock a lot this year, and he's been healthy, so that's been great for us. And hopefully we can put one together Friday night for him. We might even see a pass on the first play, Kevin. You never know.
Never know. Never know. Well, it's just amazing because, Brian, he's a marked man. He has been,
definitely.
And he still produces like that.
Yeah, and I think he likes it. He relishes that going in, everybody's got to stop him. He likes that. I think the competition of that and our guys up front. I mean, I just can't say enough about those guys. That's those guys are near and dear to my heart. I love those big fellas. So, and they know we're going to pack it in there, but we got to find a way. And we're going to find a way.
Abe Allen and Braden Christian as your other slots, and they've kind of played off what Jax has been able to accomplish.
Yeah, early on in the year we couldn't get the ball to those guys very well the way we wanted to, the way we have in the past. And we've really grown in that area. Beckett's a big credit to that, getting the ball pitched a little bit more. And Braden Christian's kind of been our guy at slot to make some plays on the perimeter. And then Abe's been dinged up a little bit, but I think we're going to get him back healthy Friday, and you're going to see some stuff out of him. But them guys blocking for each other, it's about us. We talk about together a lot offensively. We do it together. It's not about one guy, and everybody knows that. Even though Jax gets a lot of the credit, those guys they know they have to do their job too.
Durable players also, your slots and your wideouts, they go both ways, and they're your best players, so you want them on the field most of the time, and they have really produced, haven't they?
Yeah, Jax played a little Friday night. Probably see that a little bit more. And then our two slots obviously go both ways. And then Evan Ogle plays a lot of defense at corner and does a great job out there. And then Shoemaker played sparingly, but he's a fill-in guy. And then it takes a lot to play both ways at this level. So it's just a credit to those guys of being in shape and going hard every day in practice. What
has been a member of the COC done to help drive the bus for this push in the playoffs, do you feel?
Yeah, I think like I was saying earlier about the first 4 games of the year, I mean, we weren't ready. I mean, that's on us as coaches that we weren't ready, but we also haven't faced that competition in the first couple games every year. So those games have put us in a spot to right now to being – we've played those people before and people like Helias. So we're in a great spot, I think, to really make a little run here, and we're starting. It's coming together. The train's on the tracks, as Coach Christian would say.
As a coach, have you noticed the physicality of this group being ramped up as the season's progressed?
Yeah, definitely. I think they've finally figured out what to do. We were unsure of ourselves. How good can we be up front? How good can we be on the perimeter? Well, now they're like, yeah, we can be good. And they're putting it together up front, too. And so that's where we're at. And going through that conference, I think, makes you more physical and realize that you got to be more physical up front.
That's also translated over the defensive side, too, hasn't it?
Man, they're playing lights out over there right now. I always tell Coach Allen that if we get a shutout, we'll find a way to win. So, and you got to have a good defense. Defense wins championships, and I'm an offensive guy, but defense wins it. So, I mean, you can tell the Chiefs right now. I'm not a huge Chiefs fan, but that's what's going on with them. Defense is carrying them right now, and hopefully we can keep putting something together on the defensive side.
How has Beckett York been able to kind of stair-step his game this season as a sophomore quarterback?
Yeah.
Because he's not a sophomore anymore.
Not anymore. I tell him all the time, or tell him in practice, you're not a sophomore anymore. You can't make those mistakes. So, and he hasn't. Knock on wood. Our turnover differential has been where we need it to be the last few games. So that's where we have to have it be, and that's what was going on early, I think. And he's really come a long way. I can't say enough about him. He knows I love him, and I'm hard on him. That's a tough spot, but I got to be hard on him because it's not easy on Fridays either. So he's done a great job. He puts it all. He stirs the drink, as we always say about our quarterback. He stirs the drink. So he's done a great job.
Just reps in practice, game reps, getting synced in with the receivers. Is that part of the equation there?
Yeah, definitely, and just confident. I think he's gotten more and more confidence as the year's gone on, and that's, being thrown in a role that you didn't think you were going to get thrown into. And now it's here, and it was there week one. But so now he's a junior now, and we expect a lot out of him on Friday. He's going to have to do a good job, just like everybody else. And I think he will, and I know he will.
Well, his play and production had to merit his abilities to you as the play caller.
Yeah, and I had to adjust a little bit on some things with him too. That's always an adjustment. You don't know your team right off the bat, so we've made some adjustments on some things. Not necessarily added anything. We run the same stuff we always ran. It's just that we're using it and executing a little bit better right now than we have in the passing game in the past. Nothing against the guys in the past. We didn't need it all the time with the way defense had played us or anything. Right now, we're executing it at a high rate and not throwing it really anymore. I think we threw it 5 times Friday, but it was efficient. Efficiency is key.
You wouldn't mind throwing it a bit more, would you?
Well, I don't want to go that far, Kevin, but
okay. All right.
I mean, we want to throw it as much as we can to win the ball game. Okay, and we want to run it as much as we can to win the ball game. We're way there to win. Okay, it's a lot better. It's a lot better than losing, that's for sure.
Back to Jeff City on Friday night to face the Helias Crusaders, an excellent football team. They've been in this spot before.
Yeah.
They're a talented football team. They've got weapons on offense, and as the offensive coordinator, what do you look at their defense and see?
No, they're just we always talk about up front. They're cookie cutter guys. They're 6'2", 6'3" guys that are just big physical guys. And then the linebackers and then their back half linebackers and secondary included can really run. Good football team. I mean, they don't lose one game and not be good. They're a good football team. We'll see what we can do again. That's also something that they haven't seen us. Somebody like us, so it's kind of hard to tell what they're going to give us and how it's going to be. But man, they can really play some ball. So, and we'll have our work cut out for us. Obviously, you get down to 16 teams, everybody's good, and we're one of them. So we're good too.
Anybody that you've seen on the schedule this year that Helias reminds you of?
We could probably go back a way. I mean, obviously, Nick's is really good. I'm not sure that they're that kind of team, but they're a good football team. I think it compares to Webb City Week 1. I think those guys are just the body build of those guys, and they'll be ready to go. Other than that, I don't really know. They're just big up front, honestly, and their linebackers can really play. Back half, they're going to play some man on us because they are athletic back there.
I know you and the coaching staff, you try to stay in the moment. I remember what happened when Lebanon went to Helias 5 years ago.
Yes, sir.
Have you mentioned that to this group and told them kind of what to expect and what this group could possibly do?
Oh, they know. Obviously, they know. In 2019, obviously, it's a long time ago, and that staff does an amazing job. They'll be prepared Friday, obviously, but they know that's in our head and about what we can do up there and what kind of team that we're going to play, and hopefully we can have the same outcome.
No doubt. Coach, appreciate it. Good
Thank
luck
you.
Friday. Appreciate
it, Kevin. Thanks for having me.
Coach Brian Sommerer, our guest on Jack and Talk Overtime. Back in a moment on LED TV.
How much has your bank paid you? We've paid our Kasasa account holders more than $7 million since 2017. Open an account in minutes to get in on the earnings today.
We're back on Jack and Talk Overtime on LEB TV. There was a signing ceremony this week at Lebanon High School. Congratulations to Olivia Magruder, one of our previous guests on the show, as she signed with Southwest Baptist for tennis, Addie Redmond for volleyball at Pittsburgh State, and Bronson Rhodes for baseball at Drury. Also, Lebanon involved in the Amisha State Swimming Championships at St. Peter's on Friday. And the list includes Ben Nelson, Hunter Four, also Adam Keene, Eli Havens, Jackson Guthrie, Lucas Keene, Jackson Fisher, and Braden Johnson. Congratulations to Jacket Swimming for a great season, and best of luck at the state championships at St. Peter's. Lebanon football again at Jefferson City Helias this Friday night against the Crusaders. That'll be a 7 o'clock kickoff. Our special guest right now is senior running back Jax Glendenning. He is carried the ball 290 times for 2,511 yards and 35 touchdowns this season for the Yellow Jackets. He's also thrown a touchdown pass. He's done everything for LHS in 2024. As the season is in the home stretch, and so is your career. Man alive, I remember when you were a freshman breaking in. I know you do too.
I do.
It's gone fast, hasn't it?
Very fast, yeah. Which I always knew that it would, but it's flown by quicker than you would ever expect it to. So,
how would you rate your performance this season, personally?
Personally, I'm pretty proud of how it's went. Obviously, record-wise, we obviously hoped for better. But we picked it together, picked it up, and we've had a very successful season. We're obviously throwing stuff together now, and personally, I'm very proud of what we have done, what I've been able to do, and obviously that's just paved by everyone that's blocked for me. So,
talk about those guys up front, what they've meant on the football field, what they mean to you personally.
Yeah, everyone that's blocked for me, even past and present, they mean a lot to me. Obviously, the linemen, they block their butts off every single play, and that's obviously, like, I remember last week specifically, it was that screenplay, and Tommy Jennings and Hayden Perkins were 50 yards downfield still blocking for me. So those guys, obviously they make me look very good, and that's just what I tell everybody, especially with records that I break. I get the credit for that, but those are the guys that get me in that position to be able to do that. So you got to give credit where credit is due, and that's the O-linemen and the receivers and slots as well. So
let's go back to a year ago after the Republic game. What was your off-season training regimen like? When did you start? What were the things that were involved, and how do you feel that prepared you for the season?
Yeah, so I have wrestled for about 14 years, and last year was actually the first year where I took off from wrestling. And a lot of people quit sports and they say they're focusing on something else. I actually did that. So I took off of wrestling last year, and as soon as football was over, I think it was a week or two after, I started going up to Springfield probably 3-4 times a week to see Dre Dokes. He is a Hall of Famer, Kickapoo running back, and he had coached me up literally all winter through the whole spring and sometimes in the summer as well. And that prepared me, I progressed so much through that. He was an outstanding influence on me, outstanding mentor, and he taught me so much. I think it's very evident in the way I play. I think I play a lot more shifty than I used to. I think I'm a lot more explosive than I used to be. And obviously that's all credit to the work that I got to put in with Dre this offseason, and I think that's how it's prepared me.
So he worked on you physically and maybe a little bit psychologically also?
He did, yeah. Obviously, faith is a big part of my game, a big part of my life, and he's a very powerful mentor in that aspect as well. He's a strong Christian man, and honestly, in times like this, you don't get very many people like that. So having him in that aspect as well, just leading me down a good path. I know we kind of built off of each other as well. We'd have conversations every day about faith and football and how they intertwine together. So, yeah, he's helped me out in the physical aspect, but also the mental aspect of the game.
Well, Lebanon jumped into the Central Ozark Conference this year. The start to 2024 was not what everyone was used to seeing. How did you and the group keep the ship afloat and keep it on track and get it ready for this run?
Yeah, I think it's obvious that we kept the ship on track. I think a lot of people probably expected us to start bailing, but one thing that I'll say about this team is I've never played with the team in all 4 of my years that has had the same amount of fight that this team has. And that's not to take anything away from the teams I played with prior. They all had fight, but this team right here has had more adversity than any other team, probably in the state as well. I'd say, losing a former player with us, that was something that we had to go through. And then just going through 4 losses in 5 games, that's something that is we're very unaccustomed to here. So there's a lot of talk going around the town when that happened. But while that was happening, everyone was still staying tight together in the locker room. There's no pointing fingers at anybody. It was all just, we have a mission. We know what we're going to do. We know what we're capable of. And that's kind of what kept us on track. And knowing that we're better prepared now for the postseason than we ever have been. So,
tragic loss of Rudy Zavalos during the season. Good friend to you. Brought the community together. The team continues to play inspired football with his memory kind of as a guiding force right now.
He definitely does. And Rudy, obviously, he was going to join the Marines. I think he was going to be off in January was when him and Fidel were going to the Marines. So Rudy was just someone who always motivated everybody. It's easy to get distracted even in just summer football workouts, but I remember him being there and he would push you to the very last rep. His competitive attitude and just his go-get-it attitude about everything was so inspiring to me, and I know to everyone else on the team. So obviously every game we play for him now, I know all the seniors, we have a Play for Rudy sticker on all of our shoes, so we see that every time before we go out every single day at practice as well. And obviously we carry out a flag for him before every single game as well. It says number 4, me versus me. And that was a tattoo that Rudy had on his wrist, was me versus me. So that's been kind of our motto this year since that happened. And obviously he's still impacting people today. It's very evident to see that he's still making a difference.
You've amassed tremendous numbers as a football player. I know that's not something that you chase personally, but you look back at what Brock West did, what Cade Musha, your former teammate, did, what John Berry accomplished. Has the exploits that those individuals managed to do in a Yellow Jacket uniform been something that's really kind of encouraged you and really enhanced your game?
It definitely has, and obviously I was lucky enough to learn from Cade Musha a lot. I got to play with him for 2 years, so just seeing his style of play, and obviously I got to watch Brock West and John Berry growing up. They're your idols growing up, and I hope that I can be that for more people, for the next person that steps up and breaks my records, which will happen one day. I'm excited for whoever can do that, but I'm just obviously I got to learn from all of those guys, and that's what's so cool about a small town football team is you grow up watching these guys, and then you're finally in the shoes that they were in, and you have your chance to make a difference on the community just like they did. So
I've done a lot of Lebanon football, 40-plus years. I've seen all the people we've talked about. I've never seen somebody run for 400 yards like you did against Jefferson City the other night. What put you in a zone that evening?
Just knowing, obviously, when you're a senior and you know that this is game time, it's, you're either winning or you're done for the rest of your life. So I think that's definitely part of it. And then obviously you got to point back to your lineman. That was definitely the start of something special there, because that was the best they've ever blocked against Jeff City, and then they followed into the next week against Cap City, and that was the best they'd ever blocked. So they just keep building off of that. So it's not even as much as it was in me. It was what my linemen and everyone else around me was doing.
Mm-hmm. Well, Helias is up next. They're going to be a tough opponent on Friday night. I'm sure you've watched their defense on film. What are some of the things that stand out to you?
Yeah, watching them, obviously they're a very talented football team. You can't take anything away from them. They tackle well. They play hard. They're going to try and sell out on me, and that's the point of the triple option. We get the ball on the outside. I don't think that they'll be able to stop us very well, and then they're probably going to have to switch up their defense because of it. So I know that my brother sent me something earlier. He sent a podcast that they have up there, and they said they were going to hold me to under 100 yards. So that's my goal, is to not let that happen, and I don't think that will happen. So
Challenge has been issued.
Yeah.
Well, Harding is your college destination. You're going to sign with the defending Division II national champions, play in Harding, Arkansas. What enticed you to go to Harding?
Yeah, so obviously it's very enticing to play for a national championship team. They obviously are just a fantastic program. I got to go down there, and it's just the brotherhood there. They all are so tight-knit down there. It reminds me a lot of what we have here, and I think that enticed me a lot. But more than anything, truthfully, it was the Christian aspect, the faith aspect of it. That whole school is very spiritual. It's a Christian campus, so being able to get better at football and glorify God through the way I play down there, but also grow in my faith, just with the brothers that I'll have around me, is something that enticed me.
Congratulations on a fantastic season, and look forward to seeing you on Friday night at Helias. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thanks.
Jax Glendenning, our guest, and we will have the full interview with Jax during Friday's edition of Jack and Talk Overtime on LEB TV. And Ramsey's back with more in just a moment.
My name is Jax Connor, owner and nurse practitioner here at Ginger Wellness. I believe that sometimes healthcare does too much, and I believe that's where wellness centers can really bridge that gap and really give people some confidence in natural ways, healthier ways, to really improve quality of life and to get healthy.
We want to feel better and live better lives. It's not about quantity, it's a lot about quality of your life.
Ginger Wellness is where I went to get my quality of life back.
All right, we're back. Ramsey Stewart, LEB TV, and I'm here with Jax Glendenning. Jax, thanks for giving us an opportunity to kind of sit down with you. I want to start this interview off by kind of just getting to know Jax a little bit better and some of the things you got going on. So give us a little bit about Jax off the field.
Little bit about Jax off the field. I'll just give you a fun fact. I love to plant trees. That's something that I'm very passionate about. So that's something that always makes people chuckle when they hear that. So I love to plant trees. I work at my parents' campground, Riverfront Campground. That's where I've worked my whole life. Then other than that, I'm just a sports guy. I like to hunt. I like to be outdoors. And just church is a big aspect as well.
Fun fact, you mentioned off-season workouts with Dre Dokes. Dre was, we played Dre. He was part of that Kickapoo team with Jared Helmig, him, and a couple others back in the day. So they took care of us twice.
They were very good. Yeah, they were no joke.
Dre went on to play at Northern Iowa, I believe.
He did. And then he played in the CFL.
Right. So you like to plant trees. Any particular tree?
Yeah, I get asked that question a lot. It's hard to say because I like so many different kinds of trees. I'd say probably the bald cypress is my favorite to plant. Yeah.
Why the bald cypress?
It's easy to plant. The roots aren't like super grown out yet, so they're easy to plant. And then they grow to be very pretty trees.
You have to make less of a hole, I guess.
Exactly. Exactly. It's a lot less work.
Gotcha. So you like to plant trees. Tell us your favorite movie.
My favorite movie. That's also a hard question. I'd probably say The Patriot with Mel Gibson, though. Yeah.
Heath Ledger, Mel Gibson.
Exactly. I would say that probably because I love America, and that's just the story of America right there. So that's why I love that movie so much.
Gotcha. I know I talked to someone, and you're a little bit different of a student athlete in the fact that most of your classes are virtual, right?
So actually what the difference is I'm normally homeschooled. Okay. So the first semester of my entire career, I go to school all 8 blocks. And then the second semester, that's when I actually switched to homeschool, and that's when to do sports, Misha requires you to go to 2 blocks still, so I would typically go to math and weights, and then the rest would be homeschool taught by my parents.
Awesome. So you mentioned your faith, big driver in what you got going on. Tell us, you like to plant trees, so I'm trying to cross off a few boxes here. What else do you do in your spare time? I know you guys run the business down on the river. So you've been working there for as long as I can remember.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah. Other than that, obviously spending time with family is a big part of what I do. Spending time with my girlfriend, that's a big part of what I do also. And then, like I said, other than that, it really is in high school. It's just a rhythm that you get in. You go to school, you do your sports, you do your hobby. Working out, obviously, is a big part. sports in general. So that's what I do also.
Gotcha. Your dog came out senior night.
Yeah.
Super Shane's a big fan of the dog.
Yeah.
And he made the mistake. He said the male the whole time, but she is a she, correct?
It's a she, that's correct. And people always call her a he, so she's used to it. It's fine.
So, obviously, the Glendenning family, from your mom to your dad, brothers, sisters, you're all athletes. I'm going to ask you something.
Okay.
Who's the best athlete?
Who's the best athlete? That's a very
Overall.
hard question. That's a very hard question. I think you can't even really answer that question because everyone is better at something than the other one is. Jenna's the best basketball player, far and away. Then Ty and Quincy are the best wrestlers, far and away. Jenna's also the best track star, far and away. So maybe Jenna. It may be just because she pulls away in that aspect. So
What about mom?
if we're talking about parents too, then yeah, because she used to play football back in the day, and I hear lots of mean stories about her and how good and how mean she was on the field. So, that's just part of the family tree, I guess.
What about Uncle John?
And there's Uncle John. Yeah, I never got to watch him play, obviously, but we still have a Thanksgiving football game every single year, and he's one of the first old people to go. So, yeah.
I know he'll be watching, and I know he'll enjoy that we kind of razzed
Exactly.
on him a little bit. So, well, Jax, I appreciate you kind of letting us into Jax a little bit off the field. We're excited for this week, and folks can tune in tomorrow for Friday, and we'll have a full interview, and we'll talk about football, we'll talk about family, we'll talk about faith, we'll talk about all the things, and kind of shine a different light on Jax Glendenning, the student athlete.
Yeah.
So, Jax, thank you very much.
Yeah, absolutely.
You shouldn't have to give up the hometown bank experience to enjoy modern convenience. Just check our Google reviews about our in-person, online, and mobile banking experiences. Open an account in minutes today.
Welcome to Jack and Talk on LEB TV.